Hey, what's up, guys? It's Boogie back again with a new video. Just basically wanted to say quickly, thank you for all the support in that last video with the fantasy. I want to do a little bit more of this stuff. So today we're basically just going to go through all the trials today, a couple of players that I enjoyed over the weekend from each game, and then little bits of chats of what we could be seeing with fantasy and stuff this year. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. So the first game we had the Raiders versus the Roosters, and we had the Raiders winning 32-18. Very good game overall from both teams. I thought the Raiders were obviously very good with the 32 points to beat 18. Big standouts, I reckon. Xavier Savage, he looked very nice. Like, he just moves very well, very quick. He was always involved in everything. And I think he had a bit of a spell coming towards the end of the game. So I think he played a lot of the first half and then moving on. Then we had Chance Nickel-Coxday playing 5'8", who I didn't think looked too bad at all. Knowing from him from the Warriors system a couple of years back where he played center for us as a junior and that. So I knew that he was going to fill in spots. So this kind of really grows the conversation of whether Ricky is really going to play Xavier Savage to start the year as fullback and then put Chance at center, which is the rumors that I'm hearing. But for me, Chance is such a great fullback. Like, we've seen him in the finals where he tried his heart out pretty much all in that game. And if the Raiders won, I reckon he would have won Clive Churchill that year. But honestly, like, to have Xavier Savage, someone's that talented behind you, there's a lot of chopping and changing where they're looking at, and I really don't know the way they're going to go. With the Roosters, they had a couple of good little standout players like Volkman. I thought Volkman was pretty good overall. White played pretty well, very strong, aggressive forward. I thought Adam Kieran had some nice touches in the game overall. But I think the biggest standout, as I was saying before, definitely was Xavier Savage. I know Adam Elliott played a decent game as well, so it'd be really good to see how he goes for the Raiders this year. Maybe look at picking him up for fantasy, maybe. I'm not sure what his prices are at the moment, so definitely look into that. But I think he's a standout player, and he was a standout player for the Bulldogs in their losing years. So definitely a lot of future coming through with the Raiders. The Raiders this year is one of those teams that I can't really put in a place until we see the first few couple of weeks, because last year when everything fell apart, it all fell apart. Like, it was awful. You can't really predict them this year after that. Like, the year before that, they were a team that was challenging for the finals. So you can't really put them in a place. Like, if you said out of the 8, I can't really argue that with you. And then you say within the 8, you can't really argue that with you. You say in the top 4, like, going off past history of the last, like, 3 years, there was only one variable, which was last year, where they were out of the 8 and they just didn't look great at all. With the Roosters, you didn't get to see too much of their top guns in this game, so I wouldn't really put anything on it. Again, as I was saying, a couple of young blokes like White and Volkman stood up, and Kieran, who's always going to be a nice fill-in player for them. So on to the next game, we had the Manly Seagulls versus the West Tigers. I thought overall great game for the Seagulls. The Tigers, they had a couple of nice little players that I saw there that were kind of on the up and coming. But with the Seagulls, I think the all talking point was this Vega that played played wing. Finished up the game with 2 more tries. So overall, I thought he looked very, very nice. A good young player that they have in the wing there. I don't think he'll have a chance this year to crack that top squad, but definitely their future is bright. And the way they've bought players, from what I've seen with the bloke on the bar, all these players are still onto like 3 or 4 year contracts and stuff. And you know, I don't see like, and with their juniors, like, yeah, they still got Fainu, sorry. All their Fainu brothers, so basically Manasi and Sione, and the younger one that has a lot of talk around him, plus like Tommy, and you got Tommy's younger brother Ben, Jake. Like, I think the only players that look like moving on is maybe DCE, and even then, like, you know, he's been playing alright. So they're the good talking points with those guys there. But it's good to see their juniors coming up. For the Tigers, there wasn't too much standouts. Like, I thought Stafford Toa had a strong game, like a very strong carrier of the football. Otika Manu had a good game overall, a lot of strong carries and stuff. Didn't get to see too much out of him, but he looked not too bad. So I thought their number 27, Nagatakora, he played very well. He looks like a little like splitting image sort of thing of like a Brendan Smith type player. So I feel like he's going to be someone to watch this year, like the year coming in the reserve grade. I don't think he'll be able to crack the spot, but he's definitely got a future behind him. He looked very strong. Taipari, he number 26. I thought he played very well as well. He had a point there where he tackled 3 or 4 people out of marker and just showing effort around the park, and he moves very well too. So another player, Austin Diaz, I thought played okay. Other than that, I think this was a showcase of the Sea Eagles juniors, and to start the game with the team that they had, I know they didn't play too much. There was a lot of talk on Kula, like we're waiting to see him burst through. You can definitely see the speed on the guy, so he'd be one to watch out, obviously. And I thought Sipley played pretty well too. KO Weeks, I thought KO Weeks looked real nice. He had some nice footwork and everything at the line. So excited to see what his future brings. But overall, I don't think there's anything too much to change on the team here. A lot of the standouts I don't think are really going to crack the squad this year. But definitely watch out for the next couple of years coming. So on Saturday, the first game of Saturday, we had the Warriors versus the Storm. The Warriors toppling the Storm 30-18. Was a great game overall. I thought obviously the Storm players that stepped up were the usual. With the Warriors, there's a couple of big talking points. Like I thought Jesse Arthurs had an amazing game. I thought that we need to find a spot whether for him for either center or wing this year. Had really good contact on defense. The first try of the game was more of a Watini Zalesniak sort of misreading that play. I think he was either going for the intercept. I don't know how he let Xavier on that outside the way he did. Xavier looked really strong. Obviously, he's gonna be a good player to watch this year. Brendan Smith played well. He looked damaging on every run. Nick Meaney didn't look too bad. I feel like he's going to be one of those players that is very consistent and one of those players that Bellamy will really like to see this year. Fill in any spot really, so he filled in everywhere. Marcelo Montoya with the double. Reece Walsh looked nice. Basically, players with the Storm side that I really enjoyed was Jack Howarth. He had the most running meters. I didn't really notice too much from his running, really. I'd noticed more of his defense. He had a couple of defensive lapses in the game, which end up for tries. But his first contact that he had on Cody Nicarima to cause the knock on to start the game, he looked strong, very strong in defense. I do understand that he plays center for the Storm, but I feel like he's going to grow into a great second rower. And I do see the same sort of mold of like a Crichton. He's not there yet, but there's the same sort of mold there. Like defensively, he looks really nice. I thought Coates had some really good runs. There was a Josh King, looked very nice. Really aggressive, damaging forward that I feel like he probably could crack the top squad this year, maybe getting onto the bench. Jack maybe snagging like an 18th man role into like maybe getting to 17th, or who knows, but he might play a couple of games this year. I reckon for fantasy, he'd be a player to have on your reserve grade, just waiting to come in. Obviously, I thought Munster looked really fit. Brendan Smith looked really damaging. Grant and Smith still have their connection, which we saw in the first half. When Grant came on and Smith at lock, I think Smith really suits lock this year in this new type of game. So they're players to watch out for. And more so towards the end of the game, that Alec McDonald, he was in pretty much everything towards the second half of the game. I know the game sort of broke down in the second half, a lot of drop balls, which gave the Warriors the opportunity to come back and win the game the way they did. Before that was a very close game with the Warriors winning the first half. I think, what was it, 14-12 or 14-12, I think we won the first half. Overall, I thought it was a great game from those Storm players. With the Warriors players, the people I saw that stood out, I thought Adam Fanua-Blake with great offloads and go forward, and his defense, like the way he brought everyone up, looked amazing. As I said, Jesse Arthurs, I think we need to find a spot for him this year. I really do. I think he's definitely got to be starting for us this year. I like the way he ran the ball. His defense looked really, really nice. There was a point there where there was a ball from Taylor, I'm pretty sure, that kind of like was about to find the ground, and he picked it up from like legit right off the ground. Like great hands on him. So I'm excited to see what he comes in the next trial like. Eli Katoa looked amazing. I thought Eli Katoa looked really, really strong. A lot of great things. Aaron Panay. I thought Aaron Panay looked great. I can't wait to see what he turns into with a lot of development coming into him. He'd definitely get a crack on my bench, I reckon. And I thought Aiken played really well. I thought Aiken was holding his own in the second row there. And Matt Lodge, I thought Matt Lodge played really well as well. I thought Matt Lodge with the second unit, with that second half team, he really gave us an edge in the forward pack and quick platables, the offloads, the way everyone was coming together, and that gave us great opportunity with Chanel and Walshy. Chanel, I don't really see him as a fullback. I saw him very tentative under the ball, so I'm not too sure what the go is with that. I feel like there's got to be some other players we can chuck a fullback. Like Watini Zalesniak, we could chuck a fullback for a couple of weeks and then put Jesse Arthurs in there and have Adam Pompey come in, because Pompey was a standout centre for us for last year as well. So we got to find players like mix around players so we can fit some players in. But I'm not really into the whole Chanel at fullback at the moment. I think Chanel should be our 6, at worst maybe our 14. I know this year it's going to be really tough for us to figure out a halves pairing, but overall, I thought definitely like our standouts were like, I thought Eli Katoa looked really nice. I thought he looked strong. There was a lot of instances where he was breaking the line. He was running over players and short of the line, man. He's really hard to stop. I know that try got taken off him, but really close to the line, he's pretty unstoppable. Ash Taylor, the way Ash Taylor played this game, I think we need another trial to see really how he's going to go. Defensively, I think he needs to work on that area. I don't want to keep bashing him because I feel sorry for him in some sort of way, but when you're at that top squad and, you know, you need to be one of those sort of players that like consistently can defend on that edge. And I felt like his tackles kept getting broken. And that point there where Xavier Coates ran over him and he came off with a rib injury. I'm not too sure what the go is with that, but offensively, I don't think he's too bad. I think defensively is where he will struggle there. And the way Nathan Brown was saying that, like he's looking for someone defensively capable and has a kicking game, I thought Chanel fits that mold better than anyone. I thought Nikorima looked good. I still think Nikorima should be our 14 to our hooker, but then again, like we won't see the likes of Otokolo and Wade Egan, who will be probably playing in the next trial match. But yeah, I thought there was a lot of like really nice juniors. Like obviously I watched this game a lot more than most, being a Warriors fan, so I have a lot more notes with that. But overall, I thought was a very, very tidy game, and tidy first half. The second half, not so much, but very excited to see what our juniors bring this year. So the next game on Saturday was the Cowboys versus the Rabbits. Basically, overall, great game, 24-12. Basically, all juniors, all newbies in this game. Only a couple like familiar faces, but was a very intense game. I thought my honest standout, I think I have a couple of them, but Jaden Hodges from the Cowboys, his attacking flair from hooker looked really, really nice. With 31 most tackles too, I think you got to give him a big tick there. I don't know if he has a chance to challenge for that hooker spot or maybe hit 14, but he's definitely someone to watch out in the future. Another one with the Cowboys I thought was really nice was, I thought Griffin Neme played really well in prop, had a really nice hit against Vaialalo in the game. And Vaialalo, when he came on the field, he looks real damaging for the Rabbits. I thought he looked really nice. And then Neme really took the challenge and gave it to him. He had a really nice hit to cause an error. It was basically a turning point. I thought someone like RC, he had a really good kicking game. Obviously with his goal kicking looked amazing. I thought his goal kicking looked really nice. Jake Burke, he looks very high risk, high reward type of player. I think he needs a little bit more development, but he looks like he has some sort of future. Tom Chester had a nice game overall. There was players like Andre Nico that looked pretty nice. But overall for the Cowboys, I thought my standout was Jaden Hodges. I thought he was in everything. I thought he was great. There was Chudley as well that looked pretty nice at a hooker. I know he's been having injury troubles overall. But Jaden Hodges, when he came into that hooker role, like he had that little grubber between the legs for the first try, and he had a nice 40-20. I thought he really grabbed the game in a positive way, and I thought he has a future. With the Rabbits, I thought overall with the Rabbits, Jacob Gagai looked pretty nice. He had great movement. Looks exactly like his brother. He has some sort of fan in that, but I thought his brother, Dane, he's got a lot more balance and breaking tackle. I think Jacob needs a little bit more to grow, but he looked really nice the way he was moving. I thought Shaq Mitchell didn't look too bad. Had some really damaging runs and nice offloads. I thought Dean Hawkins had a couple of really nice kicks in the game. I thought he played really, really well. You had Sele. Sele didn't look too bad at all. Vaiololo, he looked really nice, really damaging at one point. It took Neme to really stand up to him to break his confidence in some sort of way, but he didn't. He just kept charging forward. I feel like he's got a future too, really damaging forward that looked very, very strong. So moving on to the last game of Saturday, we had the Broncos versus Titans, ending in a draw of 26-all. I thought overall the Titans showed a lot of their juniors to really step up, and the talent overall in the Titans team looked really nice. The Broncos had a really late comeback there with a couple of good showings from Corey Pakes. I think Corey Pakes is a really nice player. Ezra Mam has, every time he touches the ball, he seems electric. I know in the other trial he was amazing. This one he wasn't amazing. Like he had a couple of errors. Didn't really step off the mark too well. But there was a couple of times where he showed a lot of promise, and with that try, obviously he looked pretty nice. Selwyn Cobbo started the game really, really nicely with that nice try in the corner. I think obviously the hype is real for that kid. I think he's going to be really nice. There was one time, though, where this Tremaine Spy from the Titans, he played a couple of first grade games a couple of years ago. I think he finished with injury, came back, and, bro, he looks quick. He outran Selwyn on that outside for, I think, the second try of his game, I'm pretty sure. And he looked really nice. Overall, I think Toby Sexton looked really good for the amount of minutes that he played, only a couple of minutes. Greg Marju was really strong. I think he came down with some sort of injury. I'm not too sure, but he's a strong player. I remember watching him in the under 20s and always thinking he was going to be a sure thing to crack the league. I thought Jaden Campbell, obviously with Jaden Campbell, he's such a superstar. I feel like in the future he's going to grow into something really special. He needs a little bit of time still. He'll be playing starting fullback this year, and I don't want to build so much hype around him, but he just moves well. He moves so well. He's another Reece Walsh type of mold player. Can produce something special. I know Paul Turner had some nice touches in this game. Tanner Boyd held down the hooker spot really well. Fafita's, I think it's Fafita's brother playing center. He looked really nice as well. Had some nice touches. Essen Masters came on with a couple of really damaging runs. I think he picked up a try as well. Yeah, he picked up a nice try. Overall, I think basically what we got this game is the start of the game, the Titans really held control. A lot of their juniors stepped up. Spry looked amazing to me. Jaden Campbell looked really nice, and Toby Sexton. With the Broncos, they held in their own for the first half. Come the second, they started off not too well, where the Titans' other juniors came on the field and really took charge. And then they obviously broke back at the end of the game. I thought Albert Kelly and Billy Walters are looking good for maybe that 6th role. I think Albert Kelly should get that 6th role to start the year, but who knows. Jake Turpin has some competition with Corey Pakes. I think Corey Pakes looked really nice. Tyson Gamble didn't really have a great game in this one. He had a couple of bad errors, but the thing with Gamble, he kept trying, and he was pretty much really instrumental at that late part of the game to bring him back. Jordan Pereira looked really strong. Obviously, the Dragons giving him away. He's going to be good for the Broncos, so I don't know if he'll be able to crack that starting spot, but if he does, I think watch out for him. Obviously, Selwyn Cobbo. Selwyn Cobbo did look nice to start the game. And Kurt Capewell with a nice couple of breaks that he had. I thought he looked really consistent, obviously. Held everything together. They're going to be good this year. I really feel it. I wouldn't go off a trial, as you're saying. I didn't want to look into too much of how the teams were playing in the trial. I just wanted to see more individuals, how they stand out and how they look. Katoni looked damaging with a couple of runs. I think they're in good stead. I think you just have to wait until maybe the next trial to see some of the, I think they have Reynolds in the next trial. I think we wait till we get a full decision on how they're going to be this year, but I think they'll be fine. A lot of their younger boys did step up pretty well at the end of the game there. And with the Titans overall, I think there's nothing to worry about here, unless there's an injury to someone like Toby Sexton in the year. I think that could break apart, or maybe AJ. But overall, I think they played pretty well. So then the first game on Sunday, we had the Panthers versus Sharks. I thought the Panthers, obviously the Panthers juniors are the talk of the town at the moment. They looked amazing. We had players like Isaac Tago. He didn't have the most amazing game, but he was thereabouts. Robert Jennings looked strong he's more of a veteran type player at the moment, but looked very, very strong. Kurt Falls didn't look too bad. I thought the Kurt Falls looked really nice. Mitch Kenny looked really nice as well. He obviously, for me, as I was saying with my fantasy, he's going to be challenging Coruscant for that hooking spot. And because Coruscant is moving on this year, I think they're going to give him a lot more time with the team this year. I think the biggest standout in this game was definitely Maverick Geyer, who, bro, if the Panthers need another great forward, Jesus, like, they're just producing people left, right, and center. And, bro, like, he looked really, really nice. The same sort of aggression, great running lines. He looked like he did amazing on the edge. Just one of those players you kept an eye on all game. So I think he's got a future. I don't know if he'll be able to crack the bench spot this year, but he's definitely someone to watch out for the future. And with the Sharks, I thought overall they, with a convincing beating from the Panthers, there was a couple of players that looked okay. Like, you had Trindle, obviously starting with the sin bin, but Trindle actually played really nicely. Great kicking game on him. I rate him very much. Beryl didn't really show too much. I thought still, I think we'll have to go through another trial to see how he fills in with the team and give Blake Brayley another run for his money. I think Franklin Pele, he looked very, very fit. If all the talks are coming from him, like, he's one of those players that they apparently had to tell him stop gymming because he's so big. He actually, to me, he looks like he slimmed down a lot, and there was a lot of good movement from him. I know he had that silly sin bin from that shoulder charge and that, but he's definitely a player to watch out for the future, so definitely watch out for him. And with the last game on Saturday, which I watched a lot more when I came home from a nice day out, we had the Dragons versus the Eels. So the Dragons were 26, the Eels was 22. Players that really caught my eye in this game. So people that stood out for me for the Dragons, I thought that Tyrell Sloan looks like a goer for fullback. Cody Ramsey started with fullback, and then Sloan was filling in all different types of spots, but I feel like he's going to be their fullback for the year. He just moves so well, just always creating havoc on the edges where he was out wing and that. I thought Armone looked really, really nice. He looked very controlled, but also very strong. I think he led in a couple of tries though, so it's a bit of a worry for me with him. Obviously we're going to see how Jaden Sullivan plays in the next trial, and he's got a lot of talk around him as well, so we'll have to see how they go. I thought Jaden Hunt played really well defensively. He was always there, putting nice hits on him, and his accomplice in crime, Molo. I thought Molo was really nice as well. A lot of energy from those two in defense, so some good futures there. I'm not sure where they're going to play out, whether they're going to even crack a bench spot in that, but in their reserve grade squads, I think you got to watch out for those two. I thought Jonathan Rubin played really nice. He had a great attack and looks like lightning. He looks like another one of those players that, like, once he puts the foot down, there's no stopping him. And then the surprise of the day, obviously, I think everyone was figuring out what I was going to say. It was Moose playing freaking halfback. Like, yeah, it kind of shows your versatility, I guess. Obviously, he needs to get the grub out of him, but you don't want too much grub out of him because that's what makes the player that he is, old Josh Maguire. But I think for him to stay in the league, obviously, he just needs to bring down those suspensions and, no eye gouging, none of that sort of stuff. But he's talented. Like, he's got a whole lot of, like, grit and grind to him. It's just those silly suspensions. They kind of ruin the team, really. But I thought Max Fagai looked pretty well in the centre spot, came off with an injury. And then Matthew Fagai, he shined a little bit as well. Moses Sealy looked really damaging with a couple of nice runs. But yeah, like, overall, I think the big standout for me, Tyrell Sloan. I really like Tyrell Sloan, how he played the game. For the Eels, I saw a lot of Haynes Dunster look pretty nice. Purnham looked pretty good. I know Dunster came off with an injury. Didn't look too good at all. So hopefully he's all good. I thought Jordan Rankin had a really nice game of very controlling. He looked with a good head on his shoulders. Jake Arthur threw a couple of nice little nice cutouts. I thought he played really well, had some nice touches. It was good to see Marnie get a nice run in there. Obviously, whenever Marnie's on the field, he does damage, and just a great player overall. I thought Oregon Kaufusi looked really strong. A lot of really great runs from him. I think he's going to be strong and definitely pushing for a forward pack spot this year. And I thought the last player I'll talk about is Naijuki. I thought he played really, really well. He's another. I think he's Fijian. Looking at bro, he looks like, if he gets a crack. The Eels are producing all these like really crazy quick wingers, but with great hands. Like I thought he had really good hands. I think there was a play there where Jake Arthurs threw a nice cutout that kind of came too high, and he just dragged it in with ease and scored in the corner. So a lot of good promising players there for the Eels here. Bailey Simonson, obviously a good signing for him. I feel like another week of trials would be good to see how they go overall, but it was really unfortunate to see Haynes Dunster go down with injury the way he did, and I think I'd just seen before that it's not going to be great. Hopefully he comes back all goods and plays out the rest of his season. But overall, I thought the standout for me in this match, the person I was watching a lot of, was Tyrell Sloan. And the one that came out of nowhere for me really was Michael Molo. I thought he looked really nice. So definitely keep an eye on him in the junior years. So yeah, great weekend overall. I thought there was some great standouts from people like Xavier Savage looked really nice. I thought for me, as a Warriors fan, I thought Jesse Arthurs really should have secured his spot. Overall, I thought he looked really, really nice. The Titans Spry looked really good. I don't know if you'll be able to get a spot there with Corey Thompson and Marju on the other wing maybe. But it's good to know the Titans have those juniors coming through. I thought Munster looked really, really good. As in fitness wise, I thought he looked really nice, and he looked like he was enjoying his footy. Brendan Smith looked damaging, so the Storm are going to be in good steads this year. I'm excited for the Warriors, of course, being a Warriors fan, seeing that. So I hope we go pretty well. I like our forward pack, and I can't wait to see Sean Johnson behind that forward pack. So obviously tonight's game, we got the Knights versus the Bulldogs overall, so we get to see players. Kalen Pong has been named in the squad. Dane Gagai has been named. Bradman Best would be good to watch. Jake Clifford. Adam Clune to be in that halfback squad. Maybe that could be their half pairing this year. David Clemmer. You got Frizzell. Obviously, Phoenix Crossland would be fighting off for that halfback spot. For the Doggies, they've named a pretty good squad as well. Like Matt Duffy will get his first little taste of fullback for the Dogs, so we'll have to check how he goes in this game. Ogdenbaugh and Shoop. I like Shoop a lot, so I think Shoop was going to be their future centre at some point. I don't know this year, but definitely within some point he's going to be something special. He was their shining light last year, for me anyway. You got Brendan Wakeham and Avarillo playing in the halves there, so we're going to see who comes in for half next to Burton, which I feel like Avarillo is going to be there. I don't see Avarillo as a halfback. I see him as a 5'8" for a fullback. So for me, if they're going to have to play that pairing, Burton's going to have to play half. So I'm not too sure how they go with that. Jeremy Marshall-King playing hooker, whether he can secure a spot there. Pangai, seeing Pangai back in the Bulldogs, not back in the Bulldogs, but in the Bulldogs squad is going to be good to see with fantasy players. I think you're going to be watching out for him a lot. Jack Heverington and Luke Thompson, I think they're going to be good forward pairing there with Paul Vaughan. Bailey Bondi Odo, he looks really nice. He's a big up and coming junior. Patolo, I've heard a lot of good stories from him. So with the Bulldogs fans, check him out definitely. Jackson Topine, I thought he was really good last year when he got a couple of games. You got Corey Waddell, and hopefully we get to see Kyle Flanagan there too to give another shot at his halfback spot. So a lot of great players are watching this game. As I said, I'll probably record another video for that game on Wednesday, most likely. I want to go through next week's trials as well. And then after next week's trials, I might formulate a video on the ladder and who I think is going to fall where next year and what's the big movers and stuff like that. We'll probably get another fantasy video up as well where my updated team list and all that sort of stuff. So it's going to be a very exciting year. I can't wait to make more videos and stuff like that. I'm so excited to talk footy. Hopefully I get some UFC talk too, because I love the UFC. And yeah, I hope you guys really enjoy. As I said at the start of the video, I really appreciate the support. The 60 views, obviously it doesn't sound too much, but when I've only just started YouTube, really, like, it's building blocks, and you guys to show support, the love, the comments. I appreciate all you guys. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the weekend of footy. I hope you guys enjoyed the weekend overall. And yeah, I hope you see you guys again. Peace out.